I stand before you today, finally empowered, after months of feeling broken and powerless. My name is Sabrina LaMar. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and county legislator representing the 27th District. Why am I empowered today? Because I finally get the courage to tell my story. Today, I am filing a formal complaint with the Office of Congressional Ethics and the House of Representatives Ethics Committee against Congressman Joe Morelle. As a mother, I owe it to my daughter to not allow people to bully me and treat us like we're slaves to be cast aside whenever one feels like it. I'm empowered by Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. When I saw her stand on that congressional floor and tell her truth and call out her verbal abuser, she said, individuals who hold the highest office in the land admit to hurting women. I'm hurt because Congressman Joe Morelle utilized his office to attempt to get me fired from my job at RIT. And if it wasn't for the support of my supervisor, I know that I would not have a job today. I was reprimanded because of false accusations, and I know if he would do this to me, he would do this to anybody. In April, I was asked by his opponent to come on her show and talk about my work at RIT. After this video, I received numerous phone calls inquiring why would I be supporting his opponent when I'm a Democratic county legislator. My appearance on her Facebook show had nothing to do with politics. It was to talk about my work as the SERVE project coordinator and the limitations that COVID-19 had presented on curbing gun violence in our community. Little did I know, my life would forever change after going on that show. Joe Morelle called RIT's administration in an attempt to have me terminated. I have been afraid to adequately represent my position for fear of retribution of my full-time employment. I'm a single mom and also a caregiver to my mother. I will not live in fear. I will stand strong today and file this complaint. I am asking the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, to not just talk about Black Lives Matter, but to show this Black woman that I matter by holding Joe accountable and asking for his resignation. The official code of ethics for the 116th Congress states in section 114, a member may not, with the intent to influence an employment decision or employment practices of any private entity. The member cannot take or withhold or offer or threaten to take or withhold an official act. The member cannot influence or offer to, or threaten to influence the official act of another. Congressman Joe Morelle not only threatened me, but he threatened RIT and revealed to several people that he called RIT in an attempt to get me terminated from employment. It is widely known that RIT receives several federal grants and depends upon the federal government to conduct business. A call from a congressman in this manner is a threat to the private entity, and this conduct is not befitting of a congressman. It should be investigated, and he should resign from office. Just a few weeks ago, he stood with BLM and acted like he cared about Black lives. But when it came to this Black mother, he did not care if I would ultimately be able to take care of my family. Many people know that Joe made this call, and no one is holding him accountable. It is wrong, and he is unfit to represent this city and this county in Congress. He needs to resign now. You may ask, why now? I'll tell you, I'm tired. Tired of white men thinking that they can do anything to women and get away with it. I'm tired of people covering up these blatant acts of racism and sexism. I'm tired of having to wonder if today will be the day that I lose my job. I stand here empowered because my immediate supervisor stood up for me. I'm empowered because my pastor and my family are standing here with me today. Empowered because the organizers of BLM decided to stand with me and allow me to tell my truth. Nancy Pelosi, it's time for Joe to go. Thank you.
And we'll take any questions regarding what Ms. LaMar just said.
Do you know exactly what Joe said when he called RAT?
So what we do know is that he threatened to have her job taken away, and we know that this was on the basis of, false accusations and using his position of power to threaten to, reprimand her or cut funding if that decision wasn't made to remove her from her job.
Gotcha. And of the timeline here, you went on the show in April. What days after that, or weeks, or right around the same time that the call was made?
So this happened between April 26th and April 29th.
Is there any way we can get a copy of the complaint?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I mean, so you have no idea what was said to RIT other than asking for you to be terminated, you wasn't to be terminated?
Well, it would be against RIT's policy to mix politics with company business, and I was accused of doing that.
Do you feel you have done that?
Absolutely not.
So going on a show and talking about her official job at RIT is not mixing politics with business, with the RIT business. She spoke about her role at RIT. The topic of conversation had to do with curbing gun violence and violence during COVID-19, which is exactly what her job is supposed to be focused on at RIT. The other thing that is worrisome regarding this whole incident is people in power knew about this. Adam Bello knew exactly what happened. Mayor Lovely Warren knew exactly what happened, and they chose not to stand with a black woman here today to fight against this injustice that Joe Morelle decided to engage in.
Do you have any future plans to file complaints in any event for now?
She filed her official complaint this morning.
Okay, since I got here really late, if you can say everything you told me to say now.
Do you want to give them a copy of the statement or read it over?
I can either read it over or give you a copy of the statement.
I'll take the statement.
I'll give you a copy of the statement.
Okay. But can you tell me, basically what, because I did not know.
Did he say, repeat what happened? So basically, Joe Morelle called RIT, where Ms. LaMar works, to try and get her terminated, and threatened that if she didn't get terminated, then some of the funding that he gives to RIT would be discontinued.
And it violates the Congressional Code of Conduct and also the oath that he's taken. I filed a formal complaint with the Office of Congressional Ethics and the House of Representatives Ethics Committee.
How was this discovered that he was at?
I can't hear you.
How was it discovered?
How did he actually write a letter, or did he call them, or how was it?
So he made a phone call, which led to her being reprimanded. So then she knew who made that phone call and what the details regarding the phone call. The details that surrounded the phone call. In addition, it's widely known among certain people in Joe's camp that this call was made. He's boasted about it. He's let a lot of people know, this is what I did, trying to set an example of if you cross me in any way, these are repercussions that would happen. So it wasn't done silently. It was done, and he announced to people he knows proudly that this is what I did, and I'm trying to get this woman fired because she went on my opponent's show.
Sorry, can't.
Struggling to hear you.
What are the next steps in you guys' conversation to go ahead with? Obviously, you've written a letter, but what other steps can be taken?
So today, Ms. LaMar filed an official complaint. One step we would like is for the media to portray this correctly and use exactly the words that she said. I'm sure there's going to be a response from Joe Morelle. Hopefully, with that response comes an apology.
The other thing is to think of an elected official using his official capacity to terminate a black woman working in this community. We find that to be extremely racist, egregious, and just vile. To use one's official capacity to threaten someone's livelihood is disgusting. We do not feel that he is fit for this office, and we feel that he should terminate. His position should be terminated immediately. This is just absolutely disgusting. To stand with the Black Lives Matter movement and try to take food out of the mouths of children, essentially, is just absolutely abhorrent. And we really believe next steps is Joe resigns formally.
Since April, has there been any attempt, either from your end or from Morelle's end, to have any kind of dialogue here?
Has it? So no, there hasn't.
And I also want to point out, the fear as a black woman, in this position, just, thinking this man is powerful. This is a powerful white man, one of the most powerful men in our region, using his power to remove her from her job. So thinking about the fear and harassment and the calls she's gotten and the threats she's gotten just for going on a show and speaking about her job, that's absolutely unfair. We also believe that he would not have taken this action against a white man who was also in this position. There have been so many people who've been on the opponent's show, spoken to her, and they have not experienced this. But when a black woman does this, this is what happens. Her job is threatened, her livelihood is threatened. How dare she speak up? How dare she, stand up for her family? So that's where we stand.
I'm the SERVE project coordinator. SERVE stands for Community Engagement to Reduce Victimization. It's an initiative to reduce retaliatory gun violence in the city of Rochester.
And how they remove you from your job?
No,
They have not.
no, I was only reprimanded because the accusations were found to be untrue.
And what was the accusation?
That I violated the code of conduct, RIT's code of conduct, by mixing politics with the business. There's a more official term.
And it's all in the press.
The press statement that you guys will receive.
I know we've spoken a couple times, but just so I have it for the people in my newsroom, can I have you look to explain your first last name?
Yes, Stanley Martin, Stanley Martin.
Ashley Gant, ASHLEYGANTT.
Do you guys have titles?
So we're civil rights organizers with Free the People WROC.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we have copies of the press statement.